me to present Afra, an emissary of the Bridge Alliance. She is an eminent naturalist who studies local flora in an effort to find a remedy.
Your Excellency, it is a great honor.
You were part of Governor Buren's lost expedition, if I've understood correctly, were you not?
Yes, and our research would have borne fruit if it hadn't been so brutally interrupted.
I can only imagine. Nevertheless, you are most welcome. Your great learning will certainly prove useful. I implore you, my dear cousin. Do continue. We're eager to hear your news.
I wanted to inform you of our progress made in the attempt to discover a cure. As you advised, I followed the leads shared by our allies, none of which led anywhere. However, they both pointed in the same direction, towards a sort of god that the natives worship. They call him En-on-mil Frictaman, the god of many faces. He is very powerful and protects the island.
How can you be sure that it's not some sort of myth? Even a superstition?
I saw it with my own eyes take shape during a ritual. It is possible that the Malachor is the expression of its vengeance.
You are referring to the secret we unearthed. The entire continent is paying today for the errors of our grandparents. It is a terrifying perspective.
But if it were true, he must also be able to help us heal.
Katasak, my friend. I saw you flinch hearing that name. You were familiar with this being.
All of the Donegada know him, even in their flesh. He is Tirfradi. It is with him we make our bond, but I would be surprised that he is at the origin of your sickness. He is generous and only rages when attacked and wounded.
I fear that that is exactly what we did. Cousin, I know that I ask much of you, but I have no choice. You need to go and find this magical being. I won't survive for much longer. Beg him. Offer him all that he wants, but we must have this remedy. I need it.
I shall do all in my power, Constantine, I promise you. But I need to find a way to communicate with him. I was already sent to fight a guardian under that pretext, and it almost killed me.
There is a way. A way so sacred that even we Donegada cannot use it. En-on-mil Frictiman decides. It is not I who judges your intentions. Go and find Glendan, the sage of the village council of Dorhagenadu. If he deems you worthy, he will guide you. To be able to speak with him, you must present this seal. It will prove that you are the friend of a member of the council.
I had no idea that such a talisman was required.
You have not yet been named Mal of your clan seal that allows you to give voice to your friends when visiting the council.
It is a symbol of great trust. Why are you awarding me this?
I do not wish to lose the soul who has put their life in my hands. And also, you have proven you are our friend back there in my village.
Thank you, Katasak. I will not forget this honor you bestow upon me. And thank you, dear cousin, for everything.
This area of the palace is forbidden to visitors. By order of the Mother Cardinal.
We did not know. Please excuse us.
The basements are for servants only.
Very well. We'll go back up.
This area of the palace...
We did very well.
Ah, well. This is a very unique place. The smell of stupor and vice reign as its masters.
You're not wrong. We should search this place. For goodness sake! This room reeks of alcohol.
And not just any old alcohol, if my nose does not deceive me. Cornelia always had great taste when it came to drinking.
It seems that someone forgot their earring.
Ugh, here is an object of more than questionable taste. A woman from a good family would never wear it. It's junk. The kind of thing a courtesan would wear.
I didn't know you were an expert on the subject, Father.
The subject of jewelry?
No, of courtesans.
We are here at the heart of human depravity. Outrageous luxury, excessively priced alcohol, obvious debauchery.
Surely this is enough to incriminate the Mother Cardinal.
No, my child. These things are common in certain circles, even in Thélème, unfortunately. Cornelia may well have organized these things for others. These parties might be of use in gaining some political favor. We must find out who is involved and learn more.
The earring that we found may help us with that. We could ask at the brothel if it belongs to a prostitute.
We should continue searching. Perhaps we missed something. This document is highly important. By reading it carefully, you could learn a lot. The Mother Cardinal apparently borrows large amounts of money from a moneylender. Actually, enormous sums.
What's more, she does so quite regularly. How does she manage to give it all back?
And the name Candy Cane crops up several times. Quite suspicious, don't you think?
This sweet person must be doing her huge favors to get these sums. I think we have everything we need. There is probably a connection between these pleasure parties in the account books. Let's ask a few questions.
The moneylender is well established. He can be found near the main square. As for this Candy Kane, the name doesn't ring any bells to me, but the moneylender must know more about him.
We can also go and gather information at the Coin Tavern. Perhaps the manager knows him.
Can I get you anything?
I'm here for something else. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
If you wish. What would you like to know?
Do you think that the Mother Cardinal may have ever been here?
Are you drunk or something?
You sometimes deliver goods to your big clients, isn't that right?
Of course. The rich don't like to get drunk among mere mortals.
And have you ever supplied anyone from the palace?
Yes, that has happened. It suits them.
And who places these orders?
Well, a steward, of course. Don't you know how things work?
A woman? Dressed in a long green cloak?
No, the steward is more discreet. On the other hand, the person in the big green coat, the steward speaks to her sometimes. They know each other or work together.
What can you tell me about a certain Candy Cane?
Candy Cane? Everyone speaks about him or has heard of him, but no one really knows him.
And what do they say about him?
Here, nothing. You need to go downstairs for that sort of thing.
To the games room and the brothel?
Yes, that's more the kind of place where they'd talk about him.
I have to go. I will leave you to your work.
Can I get you anything? Look who it is.
I have to go. I will leave you to your work.
May the Enlightened bless you.
A feast for the eyes, ladies, and... So, have you found what you were looking for?
Let's just say that I'm gathering information.
My treasures are worth their price. I promise you that you will get your money's worth. For you, I'm sure we can make a special arrangement.
Maybe later.
You won't be disappointed. So, have you found what you were looking for? My treasure for you.
Here you are.
Thank you, my lord. I'll let you take your pick.
Thank you.
Hi. Well,
I want...
There are too many of you for me alone, my little lambs.
Sorry, madam, but we're here to ask other favors of you. This question might seem a little surprising, but do you know who this earring might belong to?
Why? It's mine. I lost it when... How did you get hold of it?
Are you sure you want to broach that subject here?
You're right. Come with me. Well, what do you want? Why are you giving me back my earring?
You know where we found it, don't you?
Obviously. I realized as soon as I got back that I'd lost it.
I imagine your pimp does not know that you take part in these parties. He doesn't dabble in this at all?
No. Do not say anything to him, I beg you. He's on my case enough as it is.
Then I suggest you answer my questions.
What would you like to know?
Could you tell us who you saw at the parties?
Rich people, or better. They seemed very rich and important to me, but I don't know them.
Do you know who organizes these parties?
Not really, no. A steward pays me when I go, but I don't see anyone else, apart from the clients.
You can't even give me a single name.
No. The only person who sometimes speaks to this steward is a woman who is always wearing a green coat. She never takes part in the festivities, but the steward rushes over whenever she arrives.
Do you think that an important person from Thélème could have partaken in these soirees?
You're thinking of Mother Cardinal, aren't you? You lot really think we are a bunch of degenerates.
You're hardly a shining example of virtue, my child. Just answer our questions.
Sorry, Father, I don't know the Mother Cardinal, but I strongly doubt she dabbles in that.
You don't think you could recognize her, and you don't think you've crossed paths. What a testimony. Admit it, you must know more than you're letting on. It's virtually impossible not to recognize someone while being so close to these influential people, wouldn't you agree?
Well, I was able to recognize someone, once. Even with a mask on, I'm good at recognizing my clients.
Please continue. I'm all ears.
I don't want to implicate anyone, but he is of no real importance, and you've probably never even heard of him. It's the local moneylender.
I know very well who you're referring to, my dear.
But I didn't mention anything to you, huh? This stays between us.
I don't even remember the subject of this conversation anymore. This woman in the green coat, could you tell me about her?
She always hides her face and never joins us. Then she disappears into a little office and locks the door.
I see. She is quite important, then. Do you know someone who goes by the name of Candy Cane?
Everyone does. He is a powerful person, so his name makes the rounds.
Have you ever spotted him at these pleasure parties?
In all honesty, I wouldn't even be able to recognize him. I've heard his name before, but that's all.
Thank you for your help.
Be sure not to mention this to anyone. I'd lose my clients if they suspected me of speaking about them, you know.
Can I get you anything? Look who it is. I feel that once again you're not here to support my business.
I'm looking for a woman who comes here. She always wears a long green coat.
Yes, I have seen this coat before, but I have no idea who is beneath it, if that's what you're asking. All I know is that I've seen her speaking to a regular, a steward of the palace who comes to place big orders. Always prime choice.
I have to go. I will leave you to your work. Good day.
Welcome. You here to wager? To fight?
I'm looking for someone. A woman wearing a big green coat.
Yeah, I know who you mean. She's a good client. She comes in especially for the big fights, and she has prime information.
Do you know where I can find her?
No, I don't even know her name.
She wouldn't happen to be coming back to collect some winnings, would she?
No, and I can't really tell you when she'll show up next.
I imagine that the name Candy Cane rings a bell.
Obviously. Even though I would prefer it wasn't the case. He's a sort of organizer. He captures most of the beasts who fight in the arena.
How is that a problem?
Apparently, he's fixed a few fights. These kind of rumors aren't good for my business.
If that's the case, why don't you stop him?
He has friends, protectors. Without solid evidence, no one will lift a finger. And the only ones who wanted to speak of his cartel have disappeared.
Do you know where I can find him?
He often hangs out around the port at night, but I strongly advise you to stay away from the guy.
I know how to look after myself. Thanks for the information. What is this arena?
It's a place of great pomp and entertainment, where all manner of fights take place. Men, women, savage beasts, island monsters. People are coming from everywhere on the island to participate, or to bet.
On what would we be betting?
On the fights in the arena. You never heard of them? Quite a few come here and bet.
And do they win?
A few do.
I must be going.
Next time, then.
Can I help you?
Yes, actually. I have a small favor to ask.
You don't look like you need money from me.
I'll get straight to the point. I have bad news for you. I know about the decadent parties at the palace. I know that you take part in them.
What? But what are you talking about?
Stop acting all innocent. I have all the evidence I need to incriminate you. Although your reputation isn't spotless, there are others who have a lot more at stake than you. What if I were to spread it around town that you boast about being there? You know what happens when tongues wag too much.
That's enough. All right, I get the message. What do you want?
It would appear that you know the Mother Cardinal very well. I know that she borrowed money from you. I even know how much. What I want to know is why.
I have no idea. Do you really think that my clients tell me everything about their lives?
Does she still owe you money?
No, she always pays me back on time, and with interest.
Do you think she's plundering the city funds?
Ha! If that were the case, the funds would have been depleted long ago. Nah, the money's coming from elsewhere.
Tell me about Candy Cane.
We're not close, if that's what you want to know. I just know his name, like everyone else. I mean, there are some rumours. They say he does his business in the basement of the Coin Tavern.
What kind of business?
Oh, nothing to do with my line of business. He deals in arena fights, which are beyond me.
I would advise you to keep all of this to yourself.
I don't want any trouble. I will be as silent as a stone.
So, how do you see things, my child?
I think that the usurer is lending money to the Cardinal, and very significant sums at that. With this money, she bets on the arena fights while hiding in a big green coat. And she also gives large amounts to a certain Candy Cane, known for fixing fights.
Not only does our dear Cornelia love betting games, But she also wouldn't think twice about cheating to win.
Maybe he's just giving her advice. How can we prove anything?
We can always try asking him. Who knows? Perhaps he will give us an answer. Candy Cane is not here. At least not yet. Remember, my child, the bookmaker told us that he hangs around here at night.
That's true. You're right. Let's come back later.
Candy Cane is not here. At least not yet. Remember, my child, the bookmaker told us that he hangs around here at night.
That's true. You're right. Let's come back later.
in this battle.
May your shadow engulf
Good evening. Are you the one they call Candy Cane?
Who are you?
Desade, legate of the merchant congregation.
A legate, no less. I imagine in these cases, the one accompanying you is the famous Petrus.
You seem to be very well informed. Therefore, you might be able to answer my question. What do you know about a woman in a green coat?
Why would I tell you?
We know that you have business with this woman, and that she is actually the Mother Cardinal.
How did you... You would be better off forgetting that.
That's not exactly the response I'd imagined. But nevertheless, seems rather eloquent.
I told you to forget about it, or you'll soon run into trouble. Legate or no legate.
Come on, it was just an innocent little conversation. Goodbye, Mr. Kane.
Bye. And Godspeed.
We have enough information.
Really? Is the fact that she bets on fights that are potentially fixed enough for you?
It's already a huge scandal. Let me just think about it for a little while. I will find a way of putting this information to good use.
I have faith in you, Father.
Karans, do you need something?
I must leave you.
to speak to you.
Do it!
Hello, my name is Desardet. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation. May I enter?
Good day, Legate de Sardet. No. This building is closed to Renaigse.
I am Siora, daughter of Bladne, daughter of Meb. My mother, the Marl of the Red Spears, was a member of the council.
All here remember. And the Vorst Tirse. She was a courageous Marl. But you are not yet Marl in her stead. And you do not carry her seal. I am sorry, Siora. I cannot allow you to enter.
I beg your pardon. I did not know.
Here is the seal of the Denegad Katasach, of the village of Wenchavier.
And so you are a trusted friend of the great healer. He must see your true face and find it worthy. Enter. You are welcome.
I give you warm greetings, Glendan. I am Desardet, legate of the Congregation of Merchants.
Your merchant congregation sways me very slightly from my path. But you are a current of Katasach. His trust in you makes me stop and look at you. What brings you here?
I seek a remedy. My cousin, as well as many other people on our island, suffer from a terrible sickness. We think that only Enon Miel Frichteman can help us find a cure.
Really? And Katasach sent you to see me?
He told me that the only way to meet with your god was to come and see you. You would judge our worthiness.
Judge your intentions? Yes, that I can do. But even if I should do this, you would have many trials to pass. For the path you seek to follow has only been tread but a very few times, and you are the first Renaigse to set foot upon it. We must begin where everything begins. There is a trial. The trial of water. It will show us the reflection of your soul.
What must I do?
You must go to a cavern and tell me what you see on the seal you will find deep in its center.
And this cavern is guarded, I suppose?
That is true. But the simplest solution is not always the best. It is a path with many forks. I hope you will prove that you understand the spirit of our people and our island. Go now. Show us your true face, and return purified by the waters of the cavern.
What can you tell me about the sanctuary?
It is the most sacred place of the island. The hidden face, and still seen by all of you. Enol Mil Frichteman. I protected these doors like my father before me and his father before him. And still none of us have ever entered.
Am I to gather that there has never been a High King in your family?
We are heads of the Council of Kings. And so it is prohibited for us to present ourselves. We must remain impartial.
I see. And so you cannot speak to me about what you find inside?
The heart of the island beats near here, the volcano. And I know that it is a place full of life.
What can you tell me about your god?
That the word God is too still. He is...
Can you tell me anything more about the role of the council?
We gather here at every long night and every short night.
During these nights, the clans are in disagreement and come here looking for wisdom of the council, and of course also the High King. Those who have complaints against their Mal may also be heard here and find justice. And when important events take place, if the balance is threatened, then we also meet here, so that the wisdom of all might be shared, and that we might act as a same people.
I must leave. Goodbye.
Qua awelam seg.
You have spoken to Glendon as you wanted. What more can I do for you?
I was asked to pass the trial of water. What do you know about it?
I have never passed it. Only those who must reveal their soul walk this path. The High Kings and Queens. It is a tremendous honor given to you, Renaigse.
Do you have any advice to give me?
I only know that the trial can be passed in many ways, and your choice will reveal the makings of your soul. One way is through strength, the other by ruse and heart. But I know no more than this. The trials are kept secret. Anything else?
Nothing else, thank you. I need to leave.
Good luck. And do not lose yourself in your own reflection.
Siora, do you know anything about the trial that awaits us inside?
My mother passed it during the last election, but it was Vinbar that was elected in the end.
Did she tell you about it?
A little, but it is a secret trial. It is important that you give your whole heart to it. I know that you must choose your path in your way. Combat is not necessarily the best response, even if it allows you to get to where you are going. If you are confronted with animals, remind yourself that they must feed. And there are ways of altering food to make those who eat it fall into a deep and peaceful sleep.
Is that an idea that your mother used? It's clever. Thank you.
Look, these beasts are feeding on that carcass. If only we could pour some sleeping potion on it.
Watch out, Anadai!
Look at the basin, and the symbols around it. Given the islanders' taste for rituals and enigmas, I think you should touch the water.
You were freezing and you had this empty stare. The water in the basin spoke to you, no?
Yes. Exactly like the lightning-struck tree. I was something else for a brief moment.
Tell us. Visions like this are guides, keys for the sacred rituals.
I was in the sky. I was floating, carried by the wind, and it was a cold feeling. I was high up, and it was getting colder and colder. I felt my blood freezing in my veins. I fell to the ground and spun slowly. And then the sun warmed me. Suddenly I bounced on the ground, and I was taken by the bubbling current of this creek. Then, just like before, the vision dissipated, and I was suddenly with you again. This stone is blackened, eaten away. The drawing on this stone makes me think of fire. I'm certain. This drawing looks like an infant. Could it represent life? Here this looks like a snowflake. The snow, or maybe ice. This stone is adorned with the etching of a drop of water. This stone is blackened, eaten away. This stone bears the image of a storm, or perhaps the wind. On this stone, the sun is visible.
Once again, these visions open gates. Try to remember them.
I was in the sky. I was floating, carried by the wind, and it was a cold feeling. I was high up, and it was getting colder and colder. I felt my blood freezing in my veins. I fell to the ground and spun slowly. And then the sun warmed me. Suddenly I bounced on the ground, and I was taken by the bubbling current of this creek. Then, just like before, the vision dissipated, and I was suddenly with you again. This stone bears the image of a storm, or perhaps the wind. This stone is blackened, eaten away. This stone is adorned with the etching of a drop of water. Here this looks like a snowflake. This drawing looks like an infant. Could it represent light? The drawing on this stone makes me think of fire. I'm certain on this stone the sun is visible.
Once again, these visions open gates. Try to remember them.
I was in the sky. I was floating, carried by the wind, and it was a cold feeling. I was high up, and it was getting colder and colder. I felt my blood freezing in my veins. I fell to the ground and spun slowly. And then the sun warmed me. Suddenly I bounced on the ground. And on this stone, the sun is visible. The drawing on this stone makes me think of fire. This drawing looks like an infant. Could it represent life? Evidently, I shouldn't have lit this candle. This stone bears the image of a storm, or perhaps the wind. This stone is adorned with the etching of a drop of water. Evidently, I shouldn't have lit this candle.
Once again, these visions open gates. Try to remember them.
I was in the sky. I was floating, carried by the wind. And it was a cold feeling. I was high up, and it was getting colder and colder. I felt my blood freezing in my veins. I fell to the ground and spun slowly. And then the sun warmed me. Suddenly I bounced on the ground. And I was taken by the bubbling current of this creek. Then, just like before, the vision dissipated. And I was suddenly with you again. I need a bit of practice. This must be the seal that Glendan spoke about. It looks like the silhouette of the mountain of Tir Fradee. And a face is drawn within it.
The spirit of the volcano. One of the faces of Einon Míl-Frichtemann.
Bertir to Mad on Olmanawi. I congratulate you for passing the trial. Enter.
And so you have returned. Can you tell me what the seal deep within the cavern brings into your mind?
A face in the mountain of Tirfredi.
Then you have seen the true face of the island when looking into her waters. And the island has seen inside you. You have given the blood of the animals that protected the entrance to the passage. You have chosen strength a first time. In choosing the path of silence, you avoided confronting the Dosantats. Finally, you have completed the ritual. And in so doing, the Guardian recognized you as a wise man. You choose to trust the way of rules and wisdom. It is a difficult path, but it carries generous fruits. The island has seen your intelligence and also your compassion. The friendship of Katasach towards you no longer surprises me.
Am I authorized to encounter Einon Míl-Frichtemann now? To present him with my request?
If the High King agrees, yes. We shall not oppose that decision. Only a High King or High Queen is allowed to open the sanctuary. I warned you. Your voyage is far from over.
I suppose that I'm going to need to convince them as well. Where can I find them?
I do not know. And I believe that it may be another trial on your path to find the one you seek.
Is he hiding? Has he been captured?
He disappeared several months ago. Since then we have not heard from him. He was worried about the Renaigse. The last people to have seen him, I'm told, were the most important chiefs of the clans here at the council. There was Deirdre, Blatnid, Ulan, and Dunkas.
My mother, alas, can tell us nothing more.
Yes. I heard about your loss, Yora. And divorced Tirce. Mourning is a difficult time to pass.
And divorced Tirce. Thank you, Glyndon.
Deirdre is the Mal of the clan of the Storm Warriors. You will find her in the village of Vedlug.
I've already met her. She sent me to confront a Guardian.
That sounds like her. Ulan is the Mal of the village of Vignamri, near the coast. It is said that he welcomes the Renaigse. As for Dunkas, he leads the Vigigidor. He is the chief of the Earth Healers. His village is not very far from the Didekidan Nadages.
Very well. I will go and see them. Try to find this High King. Thank you, Glendan.
Kwa awalamsek. I hope that you will find him.